Because Chainguard images are designed to be minimal and include some extra security measures, such as running as a regular user by default and limiting the amount of system utilities available out of the box for users, you may need to make adjustments to your existing Docker files when migrating to use our images. To facilitate that process, our team developed a Dockerfile Converter tool, or DFC for short. Chainguard's Dockerfile Converter tool is an open source tool created to facilitate the process of porting existing Docker files to use Chainguard container images. In this video, I'll demonstrate how to install and use our DFC tool to convert your Docker files to use Chainguard container images. To install and run DFC on your system, you'll need a Go environment. With that sorted out, you can install DFC with go install github.com/chainguard-dev/dfc at latest. And this will install DFC on your system. I already had it installed here. To check that everything worked as expected, you can run dfc-help, and this will get you output with the help command. Here we have a Docker file for a PHP command line application. So this Docker file is based on PHP 8.1 CLI, which is based on Debian. And here we have some apt-get lines to install additional packages. Then we have a composer to install dependencies, set up the application, and set up the entry point. It's a basic PHP CLI Docker file. Now we are going to run DFC with default options. So you run DFC and the name of the Docker file. And this will output the suggested ported Docker file to your standard output. One important thing to notice is that by default, DFC will not change your Docker file in place unless you use an option for that. By default, it will output the converted file, and you can pipe it to a new file if you want to. So let's have a look at the converted Docker file. The first thing you'll notice is the change on the from line. The base image has changed to use Chainguard repositories. And then we will notice this org here, which is actually a placeholder. So this should be replaced with your unique organization name. And if you are using our starter images, then you should replace this with Chainguard. But you can also provide this information at runtime with the --org argument. So for instance, and then you see that the output now, instead of using the org placeholder, it uses the parameter that you passed at runtime for the org. So the other changes that you will see here are the user root directive, because most Chainguard images run as a regular user by default. So to install packages, you will need to first change to the root user. And then we have the apk add line, which adds the dependencies of the image, replacing the apt install lines we had previously. And the rest of the Docker file remains the same. If you have many Docker files to convert, or if you need more control over the output produced by the DFC commands, you may integrate DFC into existing Go-based internal tooling by using DFC as a Go library. Keep in mind that DFC is still under active development. If you find issues, you can get in touch by opening an issue in our GitHub repository. Also check the official docs at edu.chainguard.dev.